second grade teacher from a 100-town school, and she volunteered. She didn't know what she volunteered for, but she's going to be our let's see, what do you want to call her? Our mannequin for today. All right, so we're going to build an owl. Okay. Well, one of the things, owls are raptors, and raptors have what? They got what? Sharp beaks. So let's give her a sharp beak. Oh, well, okay. Well, let's see. Get a little bit.
How's that?
There we go. Oh, yes. Doesn't she look beautiful there? So she's got that nice sharp beak. And why does she need a big sharp beak like that? Well, she needs a big sharp beak like that is so that when she catches her prey and she has to eat it, she can pull it apart in pieces and strips. Now, if she didn't have a beak like that, but if she had a pointed beak like a woodpecker, well, she'd starve to death because she'd just be pecking on something and wouldn't get very far with it. And if she had a beak like a sparrow, well, those are great for cracking little seeds and things, but you get very hungry, wouldn't you? Yeah, because you got to eat a lot of food, you know. So she needs a special beak that's hook-shaped, okay, and so that she can pull the food apart. And unfortunately, she has teeth, but if she was an owl, she wouldn't have any teeth. So she has to pull it into strips, and then she swallows the food. It goes right down into her stomach. Yum, yum, right? Okay, yum, 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 yum. And it sits down there and gets all digested and everything. And then, you know, sometimes the fur doesn't get digested. Sometimes the bones don't get digested. And what happens? Whoop, she coughs. Oh, geez, look at that. She coughs up pellets, okay? So, oh, gee whiz, what did you have? Oh, looks like she had some rat there and a couple mice. So let's see, what else did you have there? Some furry critters. So anyway, so she coughed those up. Very good. That's a good job. Okay. So one of the things we know about owls is owls have good hearing. So they can hear very well. So, I forgot to introduce Barb. Okay, Barb is one of our volunteers, and she just happens to be her mother, okay? So, okay, see, they look alike except for the beak and the big ears. So she has these big ears, okay? And those big ears, of course, are all behind all those feathers and everything, but she can hear all kinds of sounds out there. And her ears are in such a way that, well, okay, let's see if we can set these. Okay, one ear's up, one ear's down, okay? And that allows her to find her prey directionally. So just like us, we have ears back and forth like that, but she has one ear up, one ear down, and so she can go whoop, whoop, like that, back and forth. In fact, let me show you a picture. See, we don't want to dig under her ears. So one ear's up, whoop, got backwards. Okay, one ear's up, one ear's down. They're called asymmetrical ears. So she has asymmetrical ears, and that makes it a lot easier for her to find prey in the dark. In fact, owls almost entirely depend upon their ears for finding their prey. And what she does, she sits up on a branch, and when she hears her prey underneath or just real close by, she just triangulates, and then she just drops down off her perch, pops her wings out like a little parachute, and then poof, grabs onto the prey. And so we call her a drop predator. Okay, so she's drop predators. Well, what's the thing that makes predators all the same? They have their eyes in front. And owls have very, very, whoops. There we go. She hasn't dressed her daughter a long time. So she has these big eyes, okay? And these big eyes are designed to collect a lot of light. Shh, we're on the air. That's okay. We don't want to stop anybody from working here. Okay. So anyways, so she has these big eyes, and those eyes are designed to collect a lot of light so that they can find their prey in the dark. In fact, I have a little demonstration for you. This on a moonlit night, this is what we might see if we're out there in the woods. But this is what the owl sees. So just in case you didn't see it, right there's the bunny, there's the prey. It's a cute bunny, and he's going to make somebody a delicious dinner, rabbit fricassee. Okay, so So you can see how much the light has been amplified. So they say, and you can back me up on this, they say that you can see one candle a football field away. Is that true?
Yep.
Yep, okay. So that's pretty neat. So, okay, now some other special features about her eye. Let me get here. You can tell this is a high-class operation out here.
Absolutely.
Okay. So her eye is like this, more tubular than that, but anyways, and so similar to our eye, but her eyes are locked in. She can only look forward. Okay, so they're locked in by this bone here that goes around her eye, and so she can look only forward. So we know she's a predator because her eyes are in front. So dogs, cats, lions, tigers, people, we're all predators. Okay, eyes in front, predators hunt. But if you were a prey, you'd have your eyes on the side, like rabbits or birds and things like that. So you see them with their eyes on the side. So she's a predator, has those eyes in the front. Now she has some special features. You and I have an upper eyelid and a lower eyelid. But she's got a third eyelid. Did you know that? No, you didn't. Okay. She has what we call a nictitating membrane. So this little nictitating membrane slides down over her eyes. So when she goes down and catches her prey, to protect her eyes from the dirt and the getting scratched or anything like that, the nictitating membrane comes down, slides across like a goggle. She can sort of see through it still, okay? But it protects her eyes, so she has that nice nictitating membrane. And there's some days I wish I had that because, when I used to drive a motor scooter, those different bugs used to get in my eyes. So, so that'd be a neat thing to have. So she has that. So, let's see, what else do predators have? Oh, they have talons, right? Because that's what they use for catching their food. So put some talons on. They don't have sandals and purple toenails, by the way.
Too bad.
Okay, let's get your talons around here. Okay, let's get this around here. There you go, pretty. There we go. So she's got those nice talons. And those talons are very sharp and they're very strong. So when she sees her prey out there and she flies down to get it, she puts her feet out, grabs onto the prey, and she squeezes. And she squeezes and squeezes with those very strong talons. In fact, if she was a great horned owl, she could get up 1,000 pounds per square inch of pressure on that prey. So she squeezes with her talons, and she squeezes, and every time the prey goes like that, she squeezes a little harder. And then she keeps squeezing until it stops. And then she takes her little sharp beak there and she pulls the food apart. Now sometimes she might not do that. Sometimes she might just hold on to the prey and fly back to the nest where she'll give it to her babies. And guess what? She might tear it up for the babies. A lot of times it just goes in whole. So into the mouth and whoop. And sometimes you see the little tail sticking out like that. So let's see. Oh, we've missed something somewhere. Something we got to give the. Oh, how do you get around? You need to have wings. So we'll give her some wings. Okay.
Is that right?
No, wrong. That way. There we go. So we have some nice brown wings. And if you notice the color, a lot of times on these guys, oops, wait a minute.
Oh, we're doing white ones.
No, we're doing this way. There you go.
Oh, I see what
Now
you're
she's got to fly.
Sorry.
Okay. Now she has to fly. Yeah. She had, they're kind of white underneath. Okay. So she kind of blends in with the tree. But when she goes to sleep during the daytime, she can just fold those things up across her body. Okay. And she blends in with the tree that's behind her. I haven't seen too many owls with blue jeans, but that's okay. So she has these nice wings. But her wings are special. Her wings allow her to fly silently. Now, most of our hawks and owls, or hawks and falcons and eagles out here, when they fly by you, they make a lot of noise. But when she flies, she's very silent. In fact, she could come right across my head, and I wouldn't even notice her if she doesn't touch me. I didn't notice that. I didn't feel that at all. So on the leading edge of her wing are little feathers that stick out, okay, like that. And what they do is they break up the air currents going across so you don't get that swishing sound. So that makes her fly very silently. So, okay, so she can fly, she can catch food, she can see things in the dark, she can hear things. But how do you navigate? How do you go up, down, that kind of thing? You need a tail. Okay, so we'll get a tail on her. Did you bring the pins? No. That'd be terrible. Let's see here. We got this. And somewhere over here there's some Velcro. You see some Velcro somewhere?
No.
That close. Okay. That's close. Okay. And she's going to demonstrate her beautiful tail. Now, owls usually don't have very long tails because they don't do a lot of high altitude flights or anything like that. So they're usually close to the ground, usually inside trees. So they have a relatively short tail. So now we've built up our owl here. So anybody have any questions yet?
Just some comments saying that's awesome, and let's see, great job, little owl.
Okay. So, but you know what? We'll go ahead. We'll disassemble her. Okay. And we'll actually get some real owls in here shortly. Okay. And now we'll have a little commercial break here while we go start getting some owls in. So we have some other volunteers. Now, to give you an idea, if you would like to, you can volunteer. Go to our website, soarinhawk.org, okay? soarinhawk.org, and you can sign up to be a volunteer. And Gigi, who's our producer here.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Scared me if you're running up close. so anyway, she'll take your information and contact you. Wait, are we doing monthly orientations?
Well, I'm doing them a little bit differently now. I'm doing smaller orientations during the week, so people can contact me, and then I'll try to work with their schedule, and we'll.
Right. And we're really flexible, okay? And we have a need for all kinds of jobs, all kinds of things. We can use people who are good with writing up stuff. We can use people who are familiar with the internet, that kind of thing. People who just want to work with the birds. Not everybody gets to play with the birds. We don't play with the birds. We handle them. We treat them. We make sure they have good food. So we have people go out and get food for them. So there's a lot of room that we got construction people. We're still in the mode of constructing. We're about ready to start our two big flight aviaries. One's going to be about 80 feet long. The other one's going to be about 120 feet long. So we're going to have lots of room for the birds to fly, to get exercise before we send them out to the world. So I don't know where our birds are. Oh, here comes a bird now. Okay. So our first bird that we're going to talk about is little saw-whet owls. And this is Barb. And who do you have there?
This is Houdini.
This is Houdini. And why do we call him Houdini? Because he's an escape artist, that's why. Hi, Houdini. Yeah, I had Houdini stayed at my house for a couple of weeks, and the first day that he was down there, he disappeared out of his cage. And so they couldn't figure out what was going on. I found him. He was perched nicely, and then put him back in his cage, down the basement where it's dark and quiet. And sure enough, I went down the second day, and he's gone again. Oh. This time I looked all over the basement, I couldn't find him. And finally I was walking past the shelf where all the condiments and things were stacked, and there it was. There was a bottle of mustard, a bottle of ketchup, a bottle of Screech Owl. And so there he was, just like that, normal pose for Screech Owl, all skinnied up, right? All skinnied up, and eyes closed and saying, "You can't see me." So he's a Screech Owl, very common around here, right?
Right. I think he recognizes your voice.
Yeah, I know. They all do. That Bob. So anyway, so he's a Screech Owl. What can you tell me about him?
Well, he had a wing injury and an eye injury. How long has he been with us, Bob? Since
Oh
was
my
2010,
gosh.
I think, maybe?
Let's see. Well, let's see. What? 2004, 5. About 2004.
Oh, that long. Okay.
Yeah, he's been around. Yeah, he's an old guy.
Yeah.
And because he's gotten good treatment, and so anyway, so
Yes.
that 2004 is my first record of Houdini.
Okay.
So
All right. I'm trying to get him so you can actually see his eye injury on the VR right, or the right eye. You can see how it's a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so Houdini, of course, lives in trees. He's a cavity nester. So if he finds a hole in a tree, that's where he'll put his nest. But typically, they're going to go and they're going to sit right out on a tree limb, right next to the trunk of the tree. And when he's out there, of course, he's camouflaged. Whoops, sorry. So he blends right in. If he got next to the wrong tree, he'd be in a lot of trouble. But this way, he can hide next to the tree, and he skinnies up, right? He's skinny up. So now you notice on top of his head, he's got these two little tufts. Those are not his ears. Come on. Okay, those are not his ears. Those are little feathers right there. And they tell you something about what's going on. They're a communication device. If they're straight up, that means he's happy. If they're to the side, he's not so happy. And if they're straight back, somebody's going to get hurt. So anyway, so it looks like he's not too happy. He says, "What is all this? What are you poking in my face?" So, now you notice he's got these discs around his eyes. Now those feathers, those are called phyloplumes, okay? Birds have basically 4 or 5 different kinds of feathers. They have the stiff feathers. Those are the primaries that allow him to fly, okay? He's got outer coverts, and those are feathers like this that protect them, forms the coat, that kind of thing. Underneath, they got downy feathers that keep them warm and keep them insulated. And then they have phyloplumes, and those phyloplumes do different things. Now, these phyloplumes that are around his eyes help to direct the sound back to his ears so he can detect his prey better. Some of his phyloplumes are actually set into the skin right next to the follicles where the feathers come out, and those are the things that detect information for him, like how fast am I going? Am I banking? Am I turning? Am I rising? Am I going down? So he has a little set of instrumentation, just like an airplane, that allows him to know what's happening to his body, so he can make adjustments accordingly, right? So, and where are they found? They're found all over the eastern United States. So, all the way from Canada, all the way down to Florida, into Mexico. One of the things I notice as you travel around, they actually have different accents. They sound a little bit different in different parts of the country as you go around. So, but I think that's just something that they learn from each other. So, no, they don't sound like they're from Boston if they're in Massachusetts. So they don't quite sound like that. So,
Southern.
or Southern, yeah. So, okay, so
Y'all.
what do we have next? Okay, so, okay. So we have Nicole here, and Monet. How are you doing, Monet? Long time no see. So, Monet's a barn owl, and she's in the family called Tytos, okay? Barn owls, or Tytos, are separate from the other owls that we're going to show you today. Those are from stringiforms. I can't say Latin, but you have to forgive me. So this is, we call them barn owls because they typically, you find them in barns. You'll find them anywhere where there's a flat surface on which they can build their nest. So they have, so you'll find them on cliffs, you'll find them in caves. In fact, you can build barn owl boxes for them. In fact, down in the Southeast Asia, where they have a lot of these oil palm plantations, you'll find owl boxes out there. And because they control the rat population, she eats about 1 medium rat a day. You can talk.
Yes.
Yes, you can. Yeah. Okay. So she eats about 1 medium rat a day. So my farmer friends out here in the Amish there, they have barn owls in their barns or in their silos, and when we've gone up there to take a look at them, you find all the carcasses, all the pellets of voles. So you see all these black carcasses up there. So these guys, when they're eating voles, probably consumes about 2 or 3. Usually have about 4 offspring. And so you figure mom, dad, 4 offspring, that's about 6 voles, at least 6 voles a day. 6 voles, 365 days a year. So that's about, 1,800? Yeah, about 1,800. You can say yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing nice about television is that you can see people nod their head. So,
But we're just looking at him, so
we're
we
looking
couldn't
at
see,
him, okay.
we couldn't see Nicole.
okay.
We just see her hand.
See, with radio, you nod your head, and all you could hear was the brains rattling. So, so anyways, Taito was captive bred, and he's joined our group, and so he came. He's what, 8 months old?
9 months.
9 months old. Okay, he's 9 months old, and very curious owl. You watch him, watch what he does. You know, he's always looking, trying to figure out what's going on, and keeps an eye on things. Again, he's a predator, eyes in front, you know, and predators hunt, eyes on the side, prey must hide. And he's a very silent flyer, and sometimes you can hear him out there. If you go out there in the Amish country and you listen at night, you'll hear this. Yeah. What are you saying? I know.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, potty mouth Bob. Sorry.
Yeah.
so this is Monet, and like I said, he's in a separate family from the other owls. So, do we have the next owl ready? Who's ready? We doing good on time?
Yes, we are. We're doing good.
Next. So anyways, so we have lots of birds out here that need lots of tending, need to be taken care of. We gotta get food for them, and you know, and if you can't volunteer but you would like to help in some way, you can donate to us. So you can you know, send us a check at soarinhawk.org, PO Box 13689. Okay. No, I'm sorry, 13698. There we go. 13698, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 40635. Okay. 48635. There we go. I'm not confused. Just go to our website. so anyways, here's our next guy, and this is a bar now, and this is who, Peabody?
This is Peabody.
Hi, Peabody. And Peabody's been with us since, 2004, 2005. He's been with us a long time. So say hello to everybody. And so.
I think they have a beautiful face.
You got it, yeah. So Peabody's a female. We originally called Mr. Peabody, but then we did a little check. Hi. And this is a common owl. It's a cavity nester. We find them all over, usually around wet areas, lakes, streams, rivers. But, you know, we find these guys even downtown Fort Wayne. So we have some nice big old sycamores down there, and they just love those. So, and so we call them Peabody because of the big facial disc there. You know, so if any of you guys remember Rocky and Bullwinkle, there was Mr. Peabody. And later on, are we going to get Sherman out?
No.
Okay.
Not getting Sherman.
Oh, we're not getting Sherman today. Okay. So these are the guys you might hear out there. They go, who cooks for you? Who cooks for y'all? That sound neat? Okay.
Yeah, he's looking. She's looking.
Okay. The barred owl love song. so they go, who cooks for you? Who cooks for y'all? But a lot of times at around dusk or just at sunrise, you can hear them out here doing what we call duetting. So you have one calling, start off with woo, 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 and the other one going woo, 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 woo. I know you've heard that song before. Promises, promises. so barred owl, again,
It's okay.
beautiful, big talons. You know, she eats what, about one medium rat a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, about one medium rat a day. And if she was in the wild, but in the wild, you know, there aren't that many rats that are running around the riverbanks and stuff. No, there's stuff out there. There's snakes, frogs, crawdads. Let's see. She'll even go in after fish. So she'll eat a fish or two. So it's not uncommon to see them out there catching fish. So it's a wide variety of game that they'll go after. So, anyways, these birds can live a long time. In the wild, typically they're going to live about 14, 15 years. In captivity, you can get up to 25 years, you know, because they get good care, they get medically treated, and, you know, and they're loved. So, right? So, and where do you find it? Well, all over the eastern United States and southern Canada. They're making incursions into Washington State and into Oregon where they're displacing the spotted owl. there was a thing there for a while we were trying to preserve the spotted owls, and now the barred owls have gone in and are pushing them out. So that's something that didn't quite go according to plan. But anyways, this is the main population. There's one of these little populations down in Mexico, along the Pacific seaboard down there, and down there in Juarez and that area. And so there's some guys there, also lowland area on the Atlantic coast. So, so they're kind of a little dispersed, but primarily they're up here, right? Okay. And they have relatives all around the world. So there's things like the Ural owl, the wood owl. There's other owls out there that are related to these guys. Okay?
Have you talked about if owls can turn their heads all the way around?
Oh, I did not do that. I did talk about that. So, can you turn your head all the way around? Oh, geez, that would snap right off if I turned that all the way around. So she can do about 270. Can you do it? Come on. Okay, there's one. There you go. So that's as far as she can turn her head. So she can turn about 270 degrees. Just like you, if you turned your head all the way around, it'd snap right off. And you know what lets her do that? I can't do that. And what lets her do it is she has twice as many vertebrae that we have. So I have 7 vertebrae. All mammals have 7 vertebrae. It doesn't matter if you're a giraffe or a mouse or a human, monkey, whatever, 7 vertebrae. But she has 14 vertebrae. So she has double the number of vertebrae, so that gives her more flexibility. She can turn her head so she looks over her left shoulder, her right shoulder. And not only that, but she can also turn her head. And I think we're going to get one more out that almost turns his head over, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to get another bird out that will demonstrate it. Oh, you got a question?
Yes. Where did the spotted owls move to?
Where did the spotted owl? Well, basically, a lot of them got eaten. All right. Unfortunately, they've gotten driven out of their territory, and so they have less territory. So there's less breeding. So they're declining in population. So yeah, it's a wild world out there. It's so it can be kind of cruel at times. So now they're in the process of getting rid of barred owls out in Washington State and those places, and displacing them. So it's interesting the way nature works, And so there may be a number of reasons why the barred owl is going into the spotted owl territory. Maybe we've done too good a job of protecting the spotted owl, and the barred owls like what they saw. So it's so we don't But anyways, they're working on it now to get the spotted owl problem straightened out with the barred owls. Who's next? Somebody come next. They're all so shy, It's unfortunate.
She's having fun back there.
Oh, you having fun back there?
Yeah.
Oh, Athena, this is the new addition here to our, okay, she's marching. She said, what do you see out there, huh? She's very curious. What is she? She's what, about 4 months old? Okay, she's 4 months old. She's a barred owl. A barred owl, a great horned owl. Boy, I better go back to bed. Okay, no, she's got me kind of excited there. But look at those big eyes. She's looking at everything, zooming in everything, and she can move that head all the way around, back and forth. Well, she's not going to do that now.
Looking at something.
But she's watching something out there. So there's probably somebody's cat or dog out there moving around, and so she's curious about that. So she's just joined our group. And what's wrong with her?
She had a broken wing that didn't heal properly,
Okay.
and she fell from the nest. We're not sure.
Yeah, it takes 2 to 3 weeks for a bone to heal up on these birds, and a lot faster than we do. And a lot of times that calcification occurs so quickly that the position of the bone is not quite correct, and so then the wing doesn't function properly. So in a few cases we've been able to break the bone and re-heal it, but in this case it's something that we can't do. So she's going to be one of our education birds, and she will develop into looking like a nice, clean-looking great horned owl. But right now she's a fuzzy thing, right? Yeah. So it's all a little fuzzy. Okay. What else? How much did you weigh? About 2 pounds? 3 pounds?
Yeah, she's a beefy girl. She's
She's a beefy girl.
She is a beefy girl, and she's still growing.
Can you say that in this politically correct atmosphere? Beefy girl. No.
We just did.
You just did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So again, you can see the eyes locked in there. Okay. Can only look straight forward. Okay. And got the disc around the eye, so that to get the sounds back to her ears back here. And I would lift that up, except she'd turn around and she'd nip me. So and she's got a very strong beak there, and she has very strong talons. Fortunately, she's a pup, or we'd call her a chick. Who's over there? Okay. Okay. We better close the door there. She says, I hear voices. Okay. And so she's going to grow up into being one of our education birds. So if and when we get back to normal, we'll be coming around to the schools and churches and other places, and you may have an opportunity to see her. But if you volunteer and come out here and work with us, you might be trained into being one of her handlers. Not everybody gets the opportunity to be a handler, but we give everybody a chance. So, somebody got a question?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Somebody asked, how much does this owl weigh? And we said probably about 2 to 3 pounds.
Yeah.
Another question is, when will she be available to be sponsored?
When will she be? Right now. You can sponsor her. Go on our website and go down there to adopt a bird. You can adopt her for a week. You can adopt her for a month. You can adopt her for a year. And we'll send you a pretty picture of her if you do one of the high price adoptions. Okay, so she's available, and so you get a picture now, or if you want, you can wait until she gets her regular feathers, her adult feathers, and we can send you a picture then. But so if you do an adoption, I think it's $200 or more. You get the nice picture in addition to the adoption certificate, and then also a copy of the Midwest Raptor book. And so you can know what you're looking at when you're out there. Okay. Do we have any other?
One thing, if you just want to mention about her ear tufts, how now they are not really there yet.
There's one, they're little bumps right now.
Yeah.
Her left one is coming up a little more than the right one.
And again, those ear tufts are kind of important to us because they tell us how happy the bird is. If they're straight up, we're happy. If they're to the sides, we're not too happy. And if they're flat back, somebody's going to get hurt. Okay. When she gets to be a big girl, she'll be able to take those sharp talons and really pinch her into these gloves. These are Kevlar gloves. That's what we use when we're handling the big birds. And she, some of the wild ones that we get in, they'll grab onto that glove, and then at that point, you guys are welded together. Yeah. And so there's been a few times when we've had to ride in the front seat of a car with a great horned owl perched on our glove. She's holding on tight, and you're just hoping that she doesn't let go and fly around the inside of the car. But sometimes we can get our hand out of the glove, and glove, bird go into the rescue box. But most of the time, most of the birds are pretty gentle. They know we're trying to help them, and they will relinquish it. But we do wear Kevlar gloves with them because they can really hurt you. I think we had one person got really hurt. Actually, the talon went all the way through the palm of the hand, and that required a few stitches. And I think we had another lady that was not properly following rules, and she got bit, and it took 90 stitches.
Ooh.
So so it was kind of like a real painful bite, So it's we always treat these guys like they're wild animals, give them the respect that they deserve, right? Yeah, give you respect.
Right on cue.
Right on cue, right? Yeah. So anyways, but if you work with the birds, you get trained properly, and you can be a volunteer out here. So
One other question, said that she's not showing up on the website to be adopted. So can we add that to a note to adopt her?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
And then Mary asked if we could show Apollo over here. And this is what Athena will look like once she's gotten her ear tufts.
Yeah, when she gets her ear tuft. And they come in a variety of colors, so you may not see her looking quite that rufusy. I think she's going to look a little more tannish.
Mm-hmm.
Her coloration looks more tannish. you know, so it's
Good
Yeah.
for you.
so there's all kinds of color variations. So, and you can find great horned owls all over the United States, Mexico. In fact, you can find great horned owls all the way down to the tip of South America, down to Tierra del Fuego. Okay, and that's a long way down there. They nest typically. If they can, they'll steal a crow's nest or a red-tailed hawk's nest. In fact, we had a pair that stole an eagle nest down there at Eagle Marshall in the south end of town. The eagles just finished the nest, and the owls looked at it and said, "This is good," and they took it over. They drove the young pair of eagles out, and the eagles moved about a mile away?
Yeah.
About a mile away.
They're still there.
They're still there. So owls and eagles. And no,
Another question. Somebody asked if you could talk about the gular fluttering.
The gular
Does it mean
fluttering.
that they're nervous?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's part of it. They're nervous, but also they have to leave off heat because they don't have sweat glands. You know, we have sweat glands, and so we can get rid of some of our heat by evaporation. But they're just like a dog or a cat. They have to pant to get rid of some of that excess heat. So part of it's a little bit nervous. You know, part of it's just the heat that's been generated. And you stopped fluttering, didn't you? So, you know, but yeah, quite often on a big, a hot 95-degree day out here, you'll see all the birds out there.
We will spray them down if they
we
get
spray
too
'em
hot.
down. Yeah, and now we have a much more permanent location. We actually have some evaporator things to put up, and we can spritz everybody when it gets really hot. And the birds really enjoy it. I used to take. We had a golden eagle, and he would just dance around in the shower. You know, he would spray him down. So yeah, these guys like it a little spritzing. A lot of times we'll just do it with a squeeze bottle, and we just. Sorry. What was that?
A couple more questions.
Sure.
When do the great horned owls start mating?
When do they start mating? Usually in February. It's really that's when you start hearing them calling to each other. You know. So yeah, that sounds like mom. So you'll hear them out there. The low-pitched sound is the females, because females are about a third larger. The males are skinnier, and so they have a little higher pitched sound. And so you start hearing that sound out there in February. There's another sound you might hear out there. That's a begging sound. Usually the babies make that begging sound, but in February, mom wants a little bit of fun with dad, so she makes that begging sound. He brings her mouse, and they may mate, okay? Kind of like humans, okay? Take them out to dinner, and then see what follows. So February is about when mating starts and constructed, so that when the eggs finally hatch, it's just in time for the baby bunnies and chipmunks and squirrels to come out. Now, mom usually it's a little
Might have
bigger.
a pellet. I'm wondering if she's going to show us how she
You got a pellet there?
regurgitates a pellet. She
Thinking about
looks
it.
like she might.
Yeah, so anyway, the babies hatch usually about the end of April, beginning of May, and that's about the time that the rabbits are having their young ones and the squirrels are having theirs, and so they go out and get that and bring it back. The females are, again, larger because they're the egg layers, and also they're basically the primary incubators of the eggs. The males are skinnier, and their role is to protect the nest. They're much more agile, so they can defend the nest, and also the what was that? Okay.
Everybody's getting a good view down there.
He's getting,
No, she's not tired.
yeah, right. Yeah, so it's okay. He's getting bored with the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah, she wants to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have another question about her. Somebody wants to know why she has asymmetrical pupils. But she came in with that injury.
Oh, did she? Okay.
Yeah, and I think they've improved
Yeah.
somewhat. Sometimes
Yeah.
it shows up a little more than
Yeah.
other times, but that's the way she
Well,
was brought in.
And not
with that.
everything is symmetrical in this world. Let's go take a hard look in the mirror and see if you're symmetrical. You know, so you know. But also, these guys' eyes are so sensitive that there's more light on this side than that side. you know, so that might account for part of the being asymmetrical. No, you can't take your clothes off. Leave them on.
She's still getting used to these things.
Yeah, so she's not quite used to them. So, yeah, so if you could get up close and watch the eye, you know, when she was looking out here, I could actually see the front of her eye moving back and forth as she was adjusting to looking at something out here. So, yeah, okay, don't do that.
What was that?
Don't talk about that,
Don't
Bob.
look at that. But anyways, you can actually see the eye moving in and out, or the front of the eye, as she adjusts to focus. More questions?
Not right now, no.
Okay, how are we doing on time?
We are, it's 1:56, so.
1:56. We're running over. So, what can you do for these guys? Okay, you know, basically the thing is that preserve your territory, preserve nature. You know, keep an eye out when you're driving along. You know, if you see something on the road, don't run it over. You know, it might be one of these guys feeding on something they caught. You know, so. You can build nest boxes for them. So I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, we demonstrated building a kestrel box. Well, the same box could be used for the screech owls. And then if you make it about a third bigger, you can do that for barn owls. And also you can try to learn more about owls by going to get yourself a book. And if you're interested in this owling book, they're what, $19?
Yes.
They're $19 if you buy it from us. For our volunteers, they're $10. Isn't that a bargain? Okay, for your volunteers, remember, $10, you can get this. But there's a lot of great stuff in here about the owls, in addition to the fact that it glows in the dark. So all kinds of information. They talk about every owl that's in North America. Okay, so I think it's time for me to say goodbye, right? Okay.
Yep.
And I'm going to sign off before this bird does something that makes me say bad words. So goodbye. We'll see you next week. I think next week we're doing crayons flying.
I believe
I keep
so.
promising crayons flying. We are going to do that. You know, so we'll have a team out here, and we'll take you out in the backyard, and we'll demonstrate how we test fly the birds, make sure that they can be successfully released. So goodbye from Soarin Hawk, and we'll see you next week.
And one last shot of Athena because she looks so cute.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.